Okay,
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order.
sorry, we have some technical.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Okay, so the agenda was circulated in your council package. Any additions or amendments to the agenda?
I'd like to make an addition to the agenda, under new business, the student counselor update.
Okay,
I'll second.
all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, carried. Student counselor Carleton Moore. Okay? Any other additions? Hearing none, can we have a motion to accept the agenda as amended?
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as amended.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, carried. Any conflicts of interest based on the agenda? Hearing none. We need a motion to approve the previous minutes from October 28th.
I'll make a motion to approve the October 28th meetings minutes.
I'll second.
Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Nay? No, carried. Okay, so that was carried, the approval of the previous minutes. So business arising from the minutes, is there anything?
I went up to we were talking about the electric presentation, the consultation with Lakeland Hospital. It was a good presentation, well attended. There was a number of questions and concerns that local residents had about the lack of consultation with landowners and people in general. I was told that I would receive answers back to some questions this week. I'm still waiting on some of those, and but I feel confident they'll reach back with answers. At the very least, might not be the answers I was looking for. Yeah, there was a good crowd there. And,
Okay. That's on our update on new business, and I can give you further update. So anything else on the minutes? Okay. Having said that, presentations, none, correspondence, none, bylaws and policies, none. New business, the Route 105 vegetation management. So over the last year, and I'm sure you guys have too, I received numerous approaches, comments, and we've had some people send in letters on the lack of visibility. Basically, when you leave the path at the start of the village, the old village path down through Florenceville, in terms of the river, cleaning up the riverside and looking at the river. So we'd like to send we'd like to send a letter to the Minister of Transportation and Tourism, Heritage and Culture, stressing it is a scenic highway, it's the River Valley Highway. And for the tourists, but also for the local people that they can actually see the river in some cases. Now, in some cases you can, but, so I think we just want to have a discussion before we send a letter, what we might want in the letter.
I don't think it's just an issue on our Route 105 to see the river, it's an issue on our roads to see the road. So it
Yeah.
needs to be looked at further than just beautifying the river so you can see the river. To get down and doing the vegetation on the back road so you can see pulling out of a side road, because you can't in some spots.
No, that's fair.
So vegetation management needs to be something that's on a scope bigger than that. It needs to be something that the province looks at and has a maintenance schedule on all of these roads. All our collector roads, all our other roads, because the vegetation management is very poor on them. That's just my opinion, because I know how high the ditches are over I live.
When you get further afield, out on the 580, I have some property out there, and you go to, there's nothing there, and you go pull out onto the road, and you're okay because you know there's only 3 cars going by every.
Yeah, if you live there, you know, but there's,
And,
yeah.
But
Anyway.
the vegetation management is all down provincial wide. But to the mayor's point, this is a designated scenic highway, that 105. And there are lots of places along there where you cannot see St. John River. And it's mentioned a lot in Water River Bend Festival. People come from far away to visit. And the first time you see the river is when you actually get out in the balloon. So it's time to maybe start to manage that a little better.
I heard a few comments with the toy run, with the bikes going through, that it would be really nice if they could see the water, because the drive was so beautiful.
No, it's true. I think there's the Chair's point, we can send it in 2 letters, one, vegetation management on numbered highways and non-named highways, because it is very lacking. And it's, in some cases, it only needs to be, if they have to prioritize, do it at the intersections at least, where there's, you're coming onto another road for visibility, if they have to, in terms of that, right? But we can send a draft letter for that issue.
Yes.
And for the scene of 105, separately, because it doesn't hurt to remind them, but this 105 is, I've got numerous people approach me about, can you clean up the river a little bit, or clean up the side of the road, and what we did in 2015, in my previous career, and they did it from Bath down through, all the way in the village of Bath, right down to Martin's Crossing. They had an excavator go along and they could reach, basically you reach to the top and down about 4 or 5 feet time you reached out there, right? And then that helped a lot.
I'm assuming we're talking about just trimming, we're not talking about removal, correct?
You,
If
no,
you're talking about removal, you're just talking about like trimming trees and
Yes.
grass.
yes,
Yeah, well,
Not any removal of trees.
Just the underbrush.
you have to leave that for bank stabilization.
Exactly,
Yes.
there's bank stabilization that
Yes.
has to stay there, so you can't be any
You
removal.
can't
Otherwise
take
you're gonna be
very-
talking and skimming it off.
Right,
You can take 10%
Yeah.
of mature trees there. But yes, we're talking so you can see, like you're not talking about taking the big trees out.
you're gonna mulch down to the roof, or down to the sun, that part of it. So, and so you need to stump, obviously, for erosion protection. But, and you don't do it everywhere, you don't, if it's 4 kilometers, you just don't go like that and take it all. Cause in a lot of cases, there is openings now, and you wanna enhance that. And where there aren't openings, just cut that so people can see it better.
Yeah.
And in between, on Kenny Hill, in between Bath and Bristol, with the old village limits, that's another issue, because you're never gonna clean that to see the river. But as you go down through, Bristol and then down through Florenceville by the co-op and further, you can definitely clean up some of that vegetation. And we were approached last year by a business owner, a restaurant, to clean up in Florenceville, and at the end of the day, they just hired somebody to do it on their own, so, which is fine. But there's ways of doing it that you have to meet those guidelines, and you can cut what they call the non-woody brush, that anything less than basically 2 or 3 inches, you can cut that without a wall permit. But by doing it now, we can start the process so that if we need permits, or if we decide we want to do it, if we want to get DTI to help us pay for it, which we should.
It's their road, they should.
It's their road, so-
period. We shouldn't
So
pay it
that's the
for it at
reason,
all.
that's right, we need to approach them to clean it up. And it's almost like doing the underneath power lines, and every so often they have to be done. And you don't have to do it every year, but even every 10 years makes a big difference. Because last time it was done in Bath was 2015. And I remember that fairly well. So,
And I think even the lookout in Bath is growing up there.
Yeah.
too.
yeah, and some of that we can do with our own crews, like around places like that. We have actually saws that we can trim up a little bit, and anything like that makes a big difference. So we just want to send a letter on the Route 105. We'll draft up a letter and maybe we'll send it up to council,
yes, I
and
know.
then just add in what you might want to add in for word each. And we'll also do another letter on vegetation management for our provincial roads throughout our district.
Yeah.
That they need to do a better job, and a strongly worded letter, because. Okay,
Okay.
is that all right, or any other questions on that, because it's come up quite a few times, and we want to address it and get it moving.
Can we list like wards in our area that we feel are like worse? like, actually list, or is it too early? Just send a letter basically stating.
Oh, I think it's too early to send a list, but, we can come, we can
There's
do
generally,
it.
generally worse
We can-
places than others.
Yeah, we can do a list internally at council and then have that list ready, say by January 1st. There's nothing, because there are roads in Morris now, there's like, Scott, as Councilor Rhodes mentioned, the 580, and, Councilor Watson mentioned the back Greenfield Road, a lot of these back roads.
There's a ton of roads.
There's just a
like,
ton of
you haven't
roads.
touched them.
So-
You haven't touched it all. Oh, yeah, not once.
I used to have a contract for that 20 years ago to clean those, and then we used to do so much more, 30 years ago. We'd do side roads, and they'd let us go down, a kilometer and turn and come back on a side road.
Did they stop those contracts?
They dissipated over the years and just dwindled away. I think they still do some, but each and every
Some they
year,
do.
but not what they did 30
Yeah.
years ago.
But what they did this year wasn't satisfactory at all.
I didn't see more of it.
Well, what roads they did were just terrible.
Well, there's some roads that the trees are growing into the road,
Yeah,
like the bushes are literally almost touching your car when you're driving.
Mhm.
And that's not good for back roads because wildlife.
so look, to your point, Councilor Connor, is, we should do a list, so council can identify some roads in your ward that are really bad for vegetation management. We can prioritize those like we do the fixing the roads, with,
Rehabilitation?
rehabilitation.
I can say right.
So, okay, and we can, but we'll send we'll send it to council both letters, so you can just jump in and add a little bit, and then we'll send them out hopefully by Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, next item is the Route 130 Bridge report. So,
The angels were singing, right?
6 years, that's what it was
Just wait,
supposed to be.
I'll
so it's finished, I drove over today, I just had to drive over and just because, but, and it just feels different, but, and you guys, but the comment I wanna make, and this is for the public, if those watching and for the news, for the media, is that is on our bridge, but it shows the partnership of the district, in my opinion, the council and staff, that we worked with DTI to allow them to meet milestones to get that bridge open quicker. And sometimes we met with some resistance in doing that, but what we believed was for the greater good of opening that bridge up so they don't have to come back next year was really cemented by the last closure, moving the closure up from October 21st weekend to late September. And by doing that, they could do all the other type of work in October, and now we're in November 12th and it's done. So I think sometimes you suffer the pain a little bit in the public, but when you're doing the right thing, it's the right thing. And we're glad that it's open, we're glad that the traffic's moving and the bridge is done. And I just want to thank our staff, especially our director of operations, because he was in contact with DTI fairly regularly. And we tried to update council and we had some decision points in some cases to speed it up. And I thank council for that too, because we had to make some of those decisions and recommendations with working with DTI. So I just want to thank publicly the council and staff. Anybody want to add anything on the 130 bridge?
No, I'm just glad it's done. And is it 6 years or 7?
Yeah, has it been 6 years?
How many?
2018, well, it started in 2018 with 2 jobs, 2018-19. And then they took a break and they started back, I believe, in 23, but 22.
So how long was, okay.
So they took a break in between there on some jobs, so.
And this was the new contractor, right? This HHC.
Yes.
And when they started, they went to work.
Yeah.
Like they were working extra shifts and they were working like some weekends and I mean, they pushed it hard to get to this point, so.
But the other comment I want to make, and I didn't respond to it on social media because it doesn't really benefit anybody, but when people are driving by a work site, any work site, especially with transportation, and you see people talking or you see people gathering, Well, there's a reason for that, whether they're paving a road or they're fixing a bridge, they're actually, in a sense of paving, I've seen this all kinds of times that they're actually waiting for the asphalt to come before they, start, so they're talking.
Yes.
So people see that, and they say, well, they're not working, but on the bridge, their safety is paramount. So sometimes they have to move in a different way, slowly, and there's one lane of traffic, even though there's a cement barrier, it's a one lane of traffic that's coming at you all the time, different things. And people do jump to conclusions. It's really not the road we wanna go down. We wanna give everybody the benefit of the doubt that they're working to the maximum what they can work, because they're working on a contract and they get paid on the contract, and as soon as they get it done, there's more reason for them. So I just wanted to make that comment that people are frustrated, I understand that, they have to wait in line, but at the same time, safety on the bridge is paramount, and if it takes extra time to do it, an extra year, you need to do it. So I give credit to the government and to the contractor that they got it done, and we're good, and we can move on. So
speaking of vegetation management, like the piece on the central side of the bridge where we used to have like the ramp, all of that area, are they going to come back and trim any of that overgrowth, or is it just gonna look like that?
they're not coming back to traffic.
We'll put
That
that
would
in
be,
part of
that would be, that would be
That would
the
be part of
vegetation
that
management
part
as
of
well.
the,
And I agree with you, that should be,
it looks
It
bad.
kind of looks like an abandoned.
yeah,
So,
It's a-
to clarify your, they don't have to come back next year now, right?
no,
Because that was the original,
Yes.
they were talking to come back next year, so they're done now.
Yes,
Yeah. and that was in their press release too, the government's press
done,
release.
done.
So, no, they did all the cleanup work or whatever they had to do, so.
That's great.
Okay, next item is just an update on that Kenneth Windfarm Project, because I sent you an update in my correspondence with NB Power, I sent it to council. So, to Councilor Oaks' point on that, there was a public meeting and presentation on the project that's moving forward. There's really two components to that project, is the generation and through the establishment of the wind turbines up in the Kenneth area, the 16 turbines. And then the second part of that project is the transmission line from Beechwood to that point where their power is gonna be stepped up onto that transmission line. And that's being built by NB Power. So they were there at the meeting. So our relationship with EO Electric and the St. Mary's First Nations, the proponent of the project, have been very, very good. They've been open to what their timeline is and, what they're doing and, all that type of thing. There'll be more discussions to come on that project, and it's moving forward, like I said. They're really the next milestone, they said, would probably be in the spring, where they would probably come back to us another update and all that sort of thing, and then with some activity being done there later this year, or 2026, in terms of clearing the sites and those types of things, and road upgrades and that sort of thing. So, but the other issue with the transmission line, I've been personally and I expressed this to NB Power that night, and I expressed it in a letter, as you've seen, on how they approach this with the landowners. And they have the right, through the Electricity Act, they can do that. They can put a transmission line right through there if they want. But when you're a corporate citizen, sometimes you have to have consultation a little bit more than just going through people's fields and not really consulting. That's not consulting, that's going and doing it. So there was landowners there that night at the meeting and spoke to the NB Power, and I tried to capture some of that in that letter to make them sure that there are issues where they could consult with the landowners a little bit better in terms of adjustments, in terms of mitigation, in terms of these types of issues. Not that they're not gonna put the transmission line there, but maybe there's some adjustments that could be made. So I think it's important that we stand up and make those type of comments, because they tend to sometimes bulldoze, literally, figuratively, and not pay attention to the local people that have this land. So I think we'll get the point across, and if anybody else wants to speak on that, we can, but
Well, there were things they didn't realize about entry into an agricultural field if the field has just been sprayed, there's re-entry intervals. There could be, neurotoxin's been sprayed there for insecticide. You don't want to be wandering around through there after that, within 3 hours of that being sprayed. There could be diseases, there's diseases in some fields, and maybe you're going in there and transferring it to the next farmer's field. And maybe he's got an eradication program going on there to be rid of blight or bacterial ring rot or PBYN or something. And you don't know that, but you're just wandering around through the field, because when the agricultural representatives come, they come, usually if there's something that's a chance of contamination, they'll take the proper precautions to move around from one field to the next. When you find out later that someone's wandered from your field to your field to your field and hasn't told anybody, that's when there's some issues with, people have issues with, because they're high value crops. And most of us feel that the Agricultural Trespass Act should have played into this more. And I was told by the lawyer for MV Power that the Electrical Act supersedes that. I'm still waiting on the answer to that. But anyway, the electric and the St. Mary's have been great to deal with. I was just a little put off by how MV Power just bowled their way through, and we're just gonna do this with no consultation.
so I just wanted to update council on that and the public, so that's good. Item number 4, student councils at Carleton North.
So I just received an email this evening, so the student council at Carleton North, so,
Do they know yet, the students?
yes, they do.
Okay, so I just wanted to check. Do they know yet? I'm saying they're later.
So we just received the names for the 2 student counselors that their student council picked. So grade 12 student Sarah Harvey will be rejoining as a student counselor, and grade 10 student Warren Stockford will be joining us this year.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to you.
They'll be joining us in
November,
It is November.
next week.
Hopefully it's the next meeting that they'll be.
I think it was this time last year that they joined too, yeah.
So we'll have to,
Congratulations to them.
yeah, congratulations.
Swear 'em
And
in.
we'll have to set up a swearing in
Ceremony, yeah.
ceremony.
Raymond can do that, yeah, she's what are you?
Oh, Raymond, you can do that?
She's
No, right.
Commissioner.
Commissioner
Commissioner
Bowe.
Bowe.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Sorry. She's Commissioner Bowe.
That'll be the lost official.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. Any other comments on that?
No, it's good.
That's good. So, item is anything council wants to mention, let's go around the room.
So, I brought it up a couple weeks ago, we're just gonna talk casually about it, but now we have a bunch of stubby trees in front of the Council Bristol Park. I understand the need to trim for electrical wires, but they look horrible, and do we know, are we gonna do anything with those?
Brent asked me to cut them down, and I was, yes, we're gonna have to remove them because they look terrible. We'll have to, yeah, they look absolutely awful. I don't know if there was a different way they could have trimmed them, but they just sliced the top completely off, and now they look terrible, so we'll have to take them out of there.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
Were they maples?
They were.
they were oak trees.
Yeah. It's a shame, really.
Yeah, so it's not like it just happened a couple weeks ago.
Who did? The people who were trimming the trees around the power lines. Yeah, they just chopped them right off.
And they're cutting half the tree.
It looks awful.
It does.
Every time so
Is there an avenue that we can trim them up, though, maybe you could talk to Val, is there a way that we can salvage them? Like by trimming some of the branches?
Regardless, it's the location of the trees, they're gonna just chop them off in the next few years and then grow back up.
One of them only had 2 branches below the top, they cut off.
Exactly, so you should just
It looks really bad, they just need to come out of there, yeah. There's.
build the stumps.
3 or 4?
Yeah, we'll leave the stump.
We'll leave the stumps there.
For erosion.
For erosion purposes. Yeah, it looks.
Okay, well, we'll have to do that, we can do that internally.
No,
Okay,
yep, that's all.
Anything else?
I think we're, yeah.
Councilor Registry.
There's breakfast this Saturday at the Morris Community Hall. It's
Oh, for hockey.
the hockey,
Yes.
the nights, the U13 team,
Yes,
so if you're around 9 to 11.
I think that's a very good idea for a fundraising idea.
It's very
I've never
nice,
seen that
and then-
before, yeah,
And then after the boys, Carleton North team are doing bottle draw too, so
yes.
they'll be going door to door.
You can also drop off the bottles up to they have an account, they have a board hockey team.
Okay,
The Carleton boys hockey team are also selling 20-pound boxes of potatoes for $10. I don't even advocate on hockey anymore, but. What else are they doing? There's another thing, they're doing a jerky box, you can buy beef jerky.
You need help around your house and they'll come
Yes,
do your work for you.
Around your house, bring it on, you know. Put your
Lots
money
of
in.
stuff.
If you know of any seniors that might need some help in your area, and you could set that up with the high school hockey team, they would love to go out and help seniors put wood in or whatever you need done.
Do you need
Okay.
to
Little small donation. Nice.
I need the extra.
I also attended the Remembrance Day ceremony at the Colonial Legion. It was fantastic and very nice event, and thank you to all the veterans who served our country.
Deputy Mayor,
Not a lot for me, I was away on vacation with my family.
how was
It was wonderful.
it? Good. Councilor Rhodes.
The daycare's coming along great, and a building committee meeting, a fundraising committee meeting for the daycare. Attended that presentation from the electric in Glassville, it was very well attended, and it's a very interesting and vocal individuals. And toured the former Bath Hospital with the interested developers in that facility, and hoping that's actually gaining some traction there now. And just been busy in general. Spent the weekend at camp with some guys I went to university with 30 plus years ago, and
Yeah, what's better than that?
Take minutes?
We played a lot of cards and we ate well.
I'm good. That's a good way to, you good? I'm good.
So there's a craft fair at Glasgow Restaurant on Saturday. Celebrated my nan's 90th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so happy birthday, Nan.
Happy birthday.
Happy weekend.
And what was the other thing? Oh, I went to the Carleton North High School girls opener basketball game last night. It was a good game, they won. And I think that's it for me.
Oh, I was at the 90th birthday, well, I took her certificate,
Yes, you weren't at the party, but
not at the party, but
you went.
her name. Certificate, 90th birthday, and I was at an 80th birthday for Mr. Fred McIntosh. And that was nice to see a lot of Bell Line or MBTEL former employees there. But anyway, a couple of things, there's the Dane Ross, at the Dane Ross, I got invited to the Dane Ross Community Center opening 4 o'clock on Friday. I can send that to council if anybody wants to go, it's just a grand opening. So I'll forward that to council this Friday. The other thing is, this Saturday is the Carleton Snowmobile Club's having their supper in Centerville.
Those tickets are also.
And tickets are on sale or
They're sold now.
sold.
Yeah, they're sold.
Is there anybody in the council who wants to go? We could get a couple tickets probably, we got a couple before.
No, they're sold out.
I think there's some available. You know?
We have tickets
You
at
have
our
tickets.
table if
Okay.
anybody wants to go.
No, people that might not go.
Okay,
Good to know.
just let us know. And next Friday night's the Bath Lions Club, medical travel action option. So that's before our next meeting. So that's a really big event and nice event for the Lions Club and medical, they club into a separate fund for medical travel. And, anyway, that's at 21st, Friday night at the Bath Lions Club. There are some firemen's, Christmas parties coming up that I got invited to. So if they're your reward, does everybody have a list of those so that you can go to the ones that are
Send them to you.
your reward or at large, you can go to any of them or whatever, go to any of them. that
I only
you want.
know a couple right now.
So it's Juniper on the 22nd, Gloucester's on the 29th, Bath is on December 7th,
Florence and Brussels is the 13th.
is it 13th?
I think so.
So
It's on the list, but I don't know the time, doesn't have
So,
a time on it.
we'll send you the list of the firemen,
It's on the list, but there's no time there.
because even if the council wants to go, you're more than invited to, you're more than welcome to go. And the other thing is the tree lighting
Oh,
ceremonies.
that's on top of the tree lighting.
That's listed when I bring this into that list, so you can participate in that. And Santa Claus parade, even though we're gonna have another meeting before that, but the 30th is a big deal in Bath. And,
Really good float this year.
and our own Christmas party for our staff and council is December 12th, so try to make that and try to pencil it in your calendar.
I know.
Yeah, so,
There's also a pickleball tournament this weekend,
Oh, yes.
so Recreation's putting that on, there's 43 teams already signed up.
Wow.
How far did it come
Just
from?
there?
It's here and at the tournament, you have to split it. I don't know how far they're coming from, but 43, so that's.
Wow.
It's
That's pretty
huge.
cool.
Pickleball.
Yeah.
so,
It is, it's a very serious sport, like they have to have like people, cause I'm like, who's keeping score? And they have like specific people that know how to keep, like, it's quite the big deal, so, yeah,
that's good.
it's happening this weekend.
So that's all those events, there's lots coming up between now and Christmas. One last thing is that tomorrow we're going to announce the System Mine project, and, I was talking to some people, and they would come to council if you, wanted to get a briefing on that, for, if council wanted to get an understanding of what they're doing, so we can reach out to them, maybe, not for our next meeting, but maybe in the new year, potentially, wherever we can. Is that of interest?
Oh, any information is good information.
Yeah, okay. So hopefully, we'll invite them to come and give them a couple dates, if you want, they can do a presentation. And that's all I have. You, Timmy?
Fire some of these,
What's that?
that's close.
Okay. So, that's it. And I need a motion to adjourn, please.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Seconder? One second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. There you go. There, what time's the game?
Sounds good.